Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to season 2, episode 155. Guys, before we start the episode, remember us to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps out the channel a ton. But let's get right into the episode. Guys, Laporta has been traveling across Qatar, Saudi Arabia. He's been talking with a couple businessmen. I have shown you guys this tweet before by Barca Times, reported by Mundo Deportivo. Qatari businessmen have proposed a club to open a franchise of FC Barcelona in the Qatari league, just like Man City under City Football Group. Laporta is studying the details of this issue. If it happens, it would mean a large economic injection. And just by explained, a quick note: read some replies that socios might be opposed to this, but this potential deal would have nothing to do with the first team. It's just like owning a team which plays in another league. Example: Manchester City Group run by Mumbai City FC in India, Melbourne City FC in Australia, and etc. They have their franchise of players, which helps them diversify and invest in other things. But guys, this is one option in which Laporta is studying. But another thing that I wanted to bring to you is this tweet by Shay Lugasi, who works with Barca Times as well. Exclusive negotiations between Barcelona and Qatar Holding LLC, a global investment house, for a new sponsor. Understand that the amount is more than 100 million. The amount will be divided for several years. The club is examining the deal closely. Now, what is Qatar Holding LLC? We know that it's a global investment house, but uh, basically the Qatar um, Holding LLC. It's also the Qatar Investment Authority, the QIA. It's basically Qatar's sovereign wealth fund. It was funded in 2005, as you can see right here in the section in history and profile, and it was basically made to manage the oil and natural gas surpluses of the government of Qatar, and to minimize risk from Qatar's reliance on energy prices. The fund predominantly invests in international markets and within Qatar outside the energy sector. So that's what Qatar Holding LLC is. And now, what does this mean for the club? What does all this mean? What does Barcelona working with Qatar means? What implications can it mean? Well, it would mean that Barcelona will get a huge economic cash injection. We would be receiving money. Just some worries that some socials might have is that they wouldn't want some businessmen handling and dealing with the club and basically trying to manage the club, because and that's also like one of the worries I have, because for example, when you look at owners in the Premier League, or owners for other clubs, their owners are very like heavily involved in the transfer market and how the club runs things. And for example, that can be very beneficial, as you can see in Manchester City. Manchester City has an owner who cares about the club, who invests in the club, and does everything possible to make Manchester City a great club. And then you have, for example, Manchester United. You have Chelsea, who are run so poorly, that's spending 600 billion to finish 12th and battle relegation. It seemed as acceptable. And then you also have the Glazers, who are in the exact same position, who work with Manchester United, who spend an absurd amount of money, just like Chelsea and just like Manchester City, but have reached nowhere near the success that Manchester City have achieved. And so that is one of the worries. We do not want this Qatar Holding LLC to basically have control over the club and just basically put their influence over the club. But as it's reported, if Barcelona do open like a franchise, they would not be handling or have any control over the first team. It would just be a new sponsor. And so like I want to put some basically, I want to ease any worries that you guys might have, like saying, hey, maybe the Barcelona will be like controlled by this Qatari group. But guys, it's not a big worry. I am slightly worried, but I don't see it as a major issue. And Barcelona receiving this huge injection would definitely help Barcelona finance our summer transfer window, because as we all know, Barcelona they're struggling financially. as reported by Romero. Let me pull up the tweet right now. But as this moment, Barcelona they're struggling for funds, as you can see right now. With all due respect, but I think that many media outlets and journalists are not being realistic about Barca's situation and signings. As of today, we can't afford to pay 20 million for Brozovic. How will we pay his salary, and so on with other targets of the club? Barcelona at this point in time, they need money to not only pay the salaries but also to pay the transfer fees. And so Barcelona, they do need a cash injection, and hopefully Qatar, they come to the rescue, and Laporta can basically finalize the details with them to negotiate a deal that will allow Barcelona to basically receive that cash injection. But how will this money help Barcelona? How will we finance our summer plans? Well, other than Qatar, because we don't know if that's going to happen, it's a possibility, but it's not guaranteed. We also have this piece of news from Saudi Arabia. From Barca Center, from two journalists who work with Mundo Deportivo. Saudi Arabia are preparing a humongous offer for Frank Kessie, who would value leaving if the club tells him that he's not in the plans. Now, Kessie has said that he wants to stay at Barcelona, that he does not want to leave the club. But if an offer comes and the club wants him to leave, he will gladly do so for the benefit of the club. And I respect that. For example, if I know Kessie wants to stay, but Barcelona need him to go, it would help the club out tremendously. And so the question I pose to you, guys, is how much would you guys value Kessie? How much money would you like to receive in order to see him leave? I am guessing maybe 25 million, 25 to 30 million euros. And we have to remember, Kessie came in for free. We did not pay a transfer fee for him. And so we would be receiving a net profit. And that would be fantastic for FFP. We bring in a player who costs nothing, and we're selling him for 25 million, maybe 30. And according to this report, humongous offer. It could be upwards of that. We don't know. But that is one of the possibilities which could help us finance our summer plans. But guys, lastly, the last piece of news I wanted to talk about is an update on the Brozovic situation. Is Brozovic coming to Barcelona? I have mentioned how the Brozovic to Barcelona, it's going to require a miracle. However, some good news has turned up, and it's this. Barcelona have tried to make great efforts in the deal for Brozovic despite the difficult economic situation. Now the ball is in the court of the Croatian pivot. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that Brozovic has basically given the okay to Barcelona. He is willing to wait and see what Barcelona can do. As you can see right now, Barcelona tried their best and made great efforts on the Brozovic deal despite the economic situation. Now the final decision is up to the player. That's the same tweet from that I just showed you, but it's basically showing that Brozovic is willing to wait. Now, it's just depending if Barcelona can make an actual offer, to Brozovic, which could bring him into the club. And as you can see right now, Brozovic has already approved this move to Barca, but the club is not yet ready to send a formal offer. They need more time. And the time we need is basically sales to happen or for a cash injection via the Qatari sponsors or the Qatari business deal. And so, Brozovic, could he be coming to Barcelona? It's 50-50. It's up in the air. A couple days ago, yesterday and the day before, it was looking very unlikely. However, some good news has turned up, and Brozovic could be coming to the club. However, we do need sales and money coming into the club. But guys, that was it for our news roundup. I just wanted to give you that quick news update, both on the Kessie situation and the Brozovic, as well as the possibility of a business deal with Qatar. Could Qatar come to the rescue? But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. We will be making a new challenge video soon. Tune out for that. But guys, as always, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys all in the next episode. Peace out.